I think we are live. Good afternoon, everyone. Sanibonani, molweni, dumelang, goeiedag. Really good afternoon. It's absolutely beautiful here in North Carolina right now. The weather is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to do my first live stream. Welcome to the Sunday afternoons with MamaDee. I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope wherever you are having a wonderful time. So I've decided I'm going to go ahead and get started. I know some people are going to be joining in, but right now, I see you guys there. I see you, Luke. I see you, Furby fanboy. Welcome, guys. Welcome to my stream. So I decided to do a stream with you guys because I wanted a way to connect with you all and really be on the same page as to which way the channel is going. Because I've really oh, that's Sipo. I see you, Sipo. I hope you're doing well. So I'm gonna first the format of the stream is going to be, I'm just going to first explain what the topic is about, and then you guys can ask questions and I will respond to questions afterwards. So first stream is Ubuntu, okay? And I wanted to cover this topic actually for a very long time, but and I have done a video, but I lost it. I've been losing a lot of videos because I'm sharing my SD card with people. I will not name names today, but so what is Ubuntu, you ask? I'm sure some of you have heard of the and by the way, actually, before I get started, I think people might be actually on a different stream right now, and I hope that they can get a notification from this stream. But I'm sorry about that. I've never done where I schedule a stream before and then do it on a cell phone, which is what I'm on right now. But let me get started, and I hope that people will get a chance to catch this this stream. So what is Ubuntu? Okay, the word Ubuntu is I want to say a Nguni word, which means people. Okay, and Ubuntu is really an African philosophy, African way of life, where basically how as humanity interact with each other, relate to each other, and what governs or what are the rules that are applied in those interactions. So I wanted to talk about this because it's really an important topic, because Ubuntu basically is a way of life. As I said, it's an African philosophy. Why is it important? It's important to know because Ubuntu, unlike any other philosophy that I know of, is a philosophy that connects humans at a human level, meaning before we know what your class is, before we know what race you are, before we know what religion you are, before we know what economic background, what country you come from, before all of those things is your humanity, okay? And it's important for Africans to connect to people at a human level, because if you connect with humans at a human level, you transcend all the things that I've mentioned. Your religion, your what you believe, what you are, what class you come from, who you are becomes less important. We recognize your humanity. And I think that's something that is in a way revolutionary, especially because of the culture we live in today. Understanding what that is very, very important, because it will help you better connect with everyone around the world. We say in Africa, we say you are human because of the humans around you. In the West, people say a human a man is not an island. I think that's what it says, the saying. But basically is that our Ubuntu recognizes our interdependency as humans, our collective as humans, and it allows us to transcend all the things that I've mentioned, to understand each other, and also to relate to each other in a way that that transcends all the things that I've mentioned. And this, in a way, frees you as a human being, because then now you have no barriers, because all you see is human being, and that's the beginning of your relationship. Within that is an implicit idea that you as a human, you by virtue of being a human, you have earned your respect, and you don't need to do more than that. And that's actually a fundamental difference in the way Africans relate to other people. In Africa, you don't have to prove your worth, okay? You get respect because you are human. And over time, you can lose that respect. So by default, you are given respect, because the assumption is that you are human and therefore you deserve respect. And after that, it is up to you how you maintain that respect. It becomes your responsibility to maintain whatever it is that you are given by the fact that you are human. So this is fundamental, because you hear a lot of people saying things like, oh, you don't get respect, you earn respect. No, you get respect and then you lose respect. And that is a fundamental difference. What that means is that if someone sees you there, they don't need to know that you have this type of education, you have this, you belong to this religion. All those things are meaningless. It is how you relate to others that keeps that respect, that you get to keep that respect. So that's something that's very important. And I mean, you've seen, before I get into the examples of Ubuntu as an African philosophy, a lot of people in the tech industry actually know what this word means, right? There's an operating system called Ubuntu. It's a free operating system. For those who don't know what an operating system is, it's what allows you to do things in your computer. For instance, most of us have a Windows operating system, and there are other operating systems, like if you have a Mac, you will have a Macintosh. And if you have, so basically it allows your computer to run the applications that you have. And so a lot of people in the tech industry understand that. But the reason why that operating system was named Ubuntu was because it's a freely available operating system that you can download anywhere and install it in your computer and run Ubuntu as an operating system. And then that means you have to download applications that Ubuntu as an operating system can be able to run, right? But that operating system was created by Mark Shuttleworth, a graduate of University of Cape Town. And because he grew up in South Africa, so he knew the philosophy of having things being freely available. And so it was important for him to name that operating system that. And I wanted to give a background for those people who are technical so that they know where it's coming from. It's actually a Xhosa word, and because Mark Shuttleworth came of age during the time of independence in South Africa, and so that's how he named that. But I wanted to talk about the examples where Ubuntu applies in African culture. So as I think I've said this in some of my vlogs, when we have things, Africans are people who are very spiritual, okay? And one of the things that they do, they can mark events by, like just like in the West, I mean, it's no different, right? But they love to mark events, whether it's birth, coming of age, being married, having children, death, all those things they mark. So they always have ritual, they always have, you know, get-togethers, if you want to use a symbol, you know, like word. So a lot of people always have get-togethers. And when we have that in the villages, you don't have to print out any invites, okay? People there live a very communal lifestyle. Even to this day, you see it everywhere, where like a family will have their own home that they own and will have a garden patch, but all the pasture that's available, it's available for anyone with animals, and they can just let their animals be out in the pasture, and there's no penalty, and there are no rules governing that other than the common sense that, you know, like there's a mutual understanding that this is how people do things. So you see a lot of that to this day. But the point I wanted to make is that when you have events, everybody in the village knows everyone to begin with. Sometimes people who live in the same village can be related through extended families, like clan names, last name, and all of that. But ultimately, everybody comes in and they everybody comes in and then they help you out. All the young married women, they come in when you have an event. Without, all you have to do is just say, I'm going to have an event on a certain day, and the word spreads. And those women, without being told, they prepare for that day. They put it in their calendars. They know on a certain day, we're going to have to go and clean that home. We're going to have to go and make sure that we prepare for visitors that come from, you know, like different places around the country that are coming for that event. And we have to make sure that there's food cooked. The family provides foods. They provide everything. But all the women in that neighborhood are going to come clean your house, prepare all the food, and make sure that all your visitors are taken care of. And you don't have to pay a dime for that. And the thing is that once the people leave, then they're going to come in and clean and all of that. The young men, they have their own responsibilities where they come in and they prepare like all the major things that need to be prepared, whether it's, you know, like preparing the meat and all of that. They know what to do, but everyone has an understanding. And so everyone will come in and nobody's invited. Everyone in the village comes in, they are part of the family, and everyone has a great time. And there's no, you know, like you don't have to worry about, you know, like being invited or feel like you are intruding if you are not invited. Then additionally, when parents die, let's say a young child loses parents, that child will never be off this live on the streets. That child will be taken care by the closest relative. If there's no closest relative, there is an extended family. As I said, if you recall in my ethnicity tag, I talked about the fact that, you know, like in our culture, you have your last name, which is you have your immediate family, and then you have your last name, which are your relatives, closest relatives, and then you have extended families, which are your clan names, and these could be groups of hundreds of people. So basically, like if you don't have someone who's related to you here, you're gonna have someone who's related to you out there, and those will be the people who adopt you. So there's no one who ever feels like they belong in the street or they don't belong to a family. You always have a family. And also Ubuntu, another example of Ubuntu is when we treat strangers in Africa. And I mean, obviously I cannot talk about ancient history. I'm talking about even when I was growing up. There are no strangers. People will ask you, who are you? And you will tell them. And you will not only tell them who you are, you will also tell them your last name and where you come from. And people will treat you like the visitor, but they will treat you like family, because they believe, you know, like that we are all connected. I mean, if you really come to think about it, even science says we are all connected. We are one giant, you know, like ball of energy. And so I think that the roots of that are from that understanding that ultimately we are all connected as human beings. And so so that's important. The one last thing I wanted to talk about was in Ubuntu in modern day, you know, like in current environment that we live in. You know, I feel like Ubuntu is the gift that should everyone know about. I think it's Africa's gift to the world, because think about it. A lot of the strife that we have today, the violence that you see, whether the violence that happened a few days ago, all of that, it's because we don't recognize each other's humanity. You know, whether it's that person, I know it's controversial to say feel compassion for someone who has killed so many people. I don't mean like I feel sorry per se for him, but all I'm saying is that part of the problem is that we don't connect with each other. When I see you, I see a religion, I see someone who's different from me. I have no empathy for you. I cannot walk in your own shoes. So being, you know, like being violent towards you, I don't recognize that by being violent towards you, I'm actually hurting myself. And so it is my belief that if we applied the philosophy of Ubuntu, we would have no reason to fight whatsoever, because we will only recognize who you are rather than what you have and what you own or whatever. Your humanity will be enough. And everybody would feel enough, because people will not feel like, if I don't have this, if I'm not all those things that everyone wants me to be, then I would not be accepted. Everybody would be much happy, because everybody would live according to the values that are good to them, but the values that are good to society as well. And nobody would be trying to hurt each other, because by hurting each other, we'll recognize that we are ultimately hurting ourselves. And so that's really what I would like, you know, like to live, is that understanding the philosophy. And it's kind of hard to do live videos, you know, because when you're doing live videos, it's very hard to organize your thoughts. But I hope that this live video was at least started the conversation about looking into Ubuntu as a philosophy, because as I said, what's different about Ubuntu is that it recognizes your humanity, and your humanity is enough. You don't have to be anything other than who you are. And it really allows for acceptance of the other, and understanding of the other, and being empathetic of the other, and understanding that if you do something to the other, you ultimately doing it to yourself. And so I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog, and I don't want the live stream. I don't want the live streams to be too long, unless you guys you know, like want it to be longer, and I'm okay with that. But I don't want them to be too long. I want you guys to really participate and ask me questions and answer each other's questions as well, because if you have something better, or you can put this more eloquent than I have put it, then please, by all means, chime in and, you know, like add to the conversation. And don't attack each other, you know, like be respectful of each other. And I hope, you know, like I've added something to the conversation, and I hope that people will really take a chance to understand what Ubuntu is, and whether they can apply it into their own lives, so that they can I can relate to anyone. I feel like that way. I can relate pretty much to anyone, whether you are religious or not religious, whether you are whatever it is that you are. I can relate to you, mainly because I believe that your humanity is enough. You know, that's all that matters at the end of the day. I hope that you guys liked it. It's almost 20 minutes long. I can't believe that's how long I've been talking. And I hope you guys were comfortable, by the way. The next live stream, I'm going to ask you guys to on my page on Facebook, I did create a poll of what people would like to hear. The next stream I would like to do is raising children in a foreign country and in a foreign culture, and what that means, and the challenges and the opportunities that are related to that. And I hope you guys will have an opportunity to come in next Sunday to view the live stream. And again, these are lives; they are not scripted, so it's actually not an easy thing to do. But I hope you guys had a wonderful time. Like this stream, and if you didn't see this stream, because I scheduled this on YouTube on my channel, but I don't think this is the same stream. But I'm starting out, so I will learn as I go along. I hope you liked the video, and I hope you comment, and I'm looking forward. And don't forget to share it. Please go ahead and share it. Really appreciate all your help, and the channel is doing much better, and I'm happy to report that. And it's all because